check all my headset, adjust everything, make sure that everything's actually streaming. Probably should mute my Twitch page too. Otherwise it's going to yell. Alright, so I think we're live and I think we're good to go. So, at least Twitch is updated. So, alright, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson and it is April 18th. This is the April 18th TextQuest Devstream. Alright, so today we're going to be doing some ASCII art related things. Specifically, I'm going to try to get a map and or map functionality working. And I think that's not going to be too bad. It's largely going to be a sort of a similar art style to our book stuff that we have working currently. So to give you a sense of what that's like. It's going to be a very similar style of presentation, basically, where we'll go up to a object, like the book, we'll say read, and I'm kind of torn a little bit between having look, yeah, of course I didn't have that set up here, having look and read do the same thing for maps, because when you say look at a map, you kind of mean read the map. So I might, instead of having look at map or examine map, give you a description like most objects will, it'll just sort of show you this ASCII art and then maybe have a little bit of text scribbled onto it. But we'll see what ends up feeling right. So we're going to go about basically setting up a map object today. So to start off, we're going to need a map sprite, which I'm pretty sure that I don't have yet. So let's see. A lot of stuff's going to be called light map, isn't it? Let's see, map. Okay, so yeah, no map sprite. So let's go ahead and pull up Photoshop. And we're going to create a quick map sprite. So, let's go ahead, new, I'm going to guess 1280 by 1280 should be plenty big. We'll eventually crop this down to be the size that we need it to be. Let's go ahead and type Commodore 64, let's make it 72, no anti-aliasing, and let's type map. Okay, so I might actually need to make this a little bit wider. Canvas size. Width is probably going to be, let's just do 256. Alright. And for the sake of ease of viewing, I'm going to change this color to black, and then we'll change it to white before we export. It's important that all of our sprites are white, that way we can actually tint them, because that is something that I learned when I went back and redid all of my art. Some of my original sprites were just hard-coded to be that color, and that is a little annoying. It can get a little messy. So let's go ahead and adjust some kerning here. Let's do -100. Let's do this one as 0. All right. So just that. Actually, you know what? Let's do -50 for him. 75. Small adjustments like this are just to get sort of consistent spacing between the characters, taking into account visual sort of illusions based on their size and shape. So this looks like a pretty uniform distribution. Let's go ahead and crop this. So I will generally try to do multiples of 64 somehow, just because I like to do that. So let's see, 128 plus 32 would be 70. Is that right? 160. Wow, that's terrible math. Alright, so let's try to center this a little bit. Okay, we'll crop that. Double check. So 160 by 64. Alright, and we'll tend this to be white. Save this out. Let's go ahead and go to Unity TextQuest Art. Textures, items, and overworld. Oh, interesting. I already had a map. So it looks like I started one, but I never finished it. I will call this one map 2. And then I will open the previous one to see if it's exactly what we did here. I did not remember looking at that, or seeing that. Let's see. Game development, Unity, text quest, art, textures, items, overworld. Okay, so that's the old map. That's why. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. My old map was sort of a meant to be that dusty old map style, and it was not an item. It was not a sprite. It was an actual physical quad in the scene um, that you couldn't pick up. Like, yeah, you couldn't even pick it up originally. This is probably the second level that I did originally, and I made it so that the map was stuck to the table, is how I described it, and that's how I made sure that you couldn't pick it up. But it'd be better if you could actually pick it up and carry it around. That way you can reference it when you need it. And the map that we're working on currently, the map that we're going to be testing, is the map for the woods area. It's going to tell you how to get through the woods. So let's go ahead and say, move this to an archive. Okay, let's move this up. And let's go ahead and save this as a PNG. Let's just rename it as map. Alright, and we can go ahead and close that. I'll rename this as well. Ta-da. And let's go ahead and give it a folder. So, map. Alright, close this out. And art. Levels, overworld, cabin. Yeah, you can see that we have the old map here. So I'm going to go ahead and create archive. Eventually we'll probably delete this stuff, but for now, since there's still some stuff using it, I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Alright, let's go ahead and move this stuff in. And then we're going to go through the process of making it a sprite. Make it a single sprite. Packing tag will be items. This stuff is fine. Alpha is transparency. Don't need to generate maps. I do not do that for my sprites. Make sure that it's point. That way we get the sharp edges. And boom, there it is. Alright. So let's go ahead and drag this into the scene. Oh, you know what probably would help is if I... no, that's fine. Let's go ahead and make a object here. I'm going to call it map. I'll actually call it woods. No, I'll call it map-woods. Map-woods. Move this under here. We're going to call this model. Alright. And now we can move over here. Alright. And as usual, for some reason, it's always facing the opposite direction. So I have it rotate and going to go ahead and refresh my Twitch page because it looked like it was frozen, and I don't know why it never updates. Anyway, oh, it's light map probes. So I was like, that's the light probes. Kind of confused what I was looking at there. Hello, Garrett. Welcome back to the Devstream. Going pretty well. Doing a ASCII map today, so hopefully that will be somewhat interesting. I don't anticipate it being too bad, but then again, I never anticipate anything being too bad, and then it spirals out into this massive thing. Anyway, let's go ahead and tint our map to be a yellowish color. Give it that sort of, I guess not yellow, but more like beige, khaki. I don't know what you would call this color. Sort of a faded yellow, more like a tan or a brown kind of. Just to make it feel like an old map. Alright, let's go ahead and that's fine for now. I'm going to go ahead and add a box collider to this. Physics box collider. Mapski. That's pretty good. Yeah, just to kind of build off of what we've been doing recently with a lot of ASCII related effects. I thought it would be interesting to sort of try to get some more extra stuff done there, just to make reading certain objects a little bit more interesting. That way it's not always going to be just text. You'll occasionally be treated to some ASCII art. Plus, I would like to know if I can even do a map in ASCII format, given my resolution and the font that I'm using. I'm not entirely sure if it'll turn out well, but we're going to find out. So let's add a couple of things. We're going to need a, oops, can't spell module. We're going to need a model module. Actually, we're going to need a sprite module and a collision module. Sprite module. There we go. Move this stuff up in that order. That's all fine. Okay, so we should be good. Let's go ahead and add a item slot for this. Now, I think in the future we're actually going to end up doing more of a custom script, so it's not going to be an item, it's actually going to be a map. And the reason that I say that is because depending on how much more work I do on the woods, because I've kind of been working on that on the side off the streams to finish it up, I may end up having multiple layouts for the woods, and in that case I need the map to actually change. That way, you know, whenever you replay the game, you get some different map layouts and some interesting stuff like that, just to make it, you know, a little bit more interesting. But we'll see how that ends up going, actually, because I spent a lot of time on the woods. Like I spent 3 months on the woods already, and it just never seems to end because I keep tweaking it. Anyway, so we have our base item. Let's go ahead and pull up a quick Google Doc, because I'm going to have to fill out some of the information for this. Although before we actually get too far into that, let's go ahead and go to Design, Interactions. All right. So before we start building out any form of spreadsheet for this to populate all of it, I am going to actually pull in my input view. And we're kind of going to mess around with a map section. Let's go ahead and pull you up. All right. By the way, Garrett, how are you doing? Text section. All right, pull that in here. And we're just going to do some quick ASCII art to see what we end up doing, how we like it. Let's see. So I think to start, we're going to have very similar to a book, except it's going to be unbroken. Can I do one more? Nope, that's it. And then we're going to need a lot of this. So we're going to have very similar style to a book, in the sense that we're going to have a lot of spaces between things. And much like the book, I'm probably going to do a frame, sort of a two-label system, where the actual frame of the map is one label, and then its contents are a separate label. Okay, let's see. I think I'm actually going to want to make these be underscores. Well, do I want to do... No, yeah. So these need to be underscores. Yeah. There we go. So that's the width that we have to work with our map template on a 16 by 9 grid. That is super wide. I was actually... I guess that's because it's kind of compressed and it's probably making it more like a 21 by 9 or something, like an ultra wide. In any case, so here's where the fun part comes in. Let's go ahead and add another TextMesh Pro object, or actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and just duplicate this one. Drag it down here. All right, and we're going to stretch it. We're going to get rid of all of its contents. And then we're going to have, I'm going to say padding arbitrarily of 25, 25, and 25 all around. And now we start with the ASCII art. Oh dear. So I actually need to go like 50. Alright. And just as a really quick sketch, this is going to be kind of nightmarish actually. I'm going to try to basically draw the diagram of the woods level in this. So that is going to be super fun. Especially because I need to figure out how I want to draw the shape. And that's because, well, I'm going to need to handle things like angles. And fortunately for us, the woods layout doesn't really make use of curves. It makes use of very straight lines. So even things that angle end up looking more like probably something like this. Geez, if I can even get this to work. Jeez, of course they don't line up perfectly, which is going to make it super fun. Not at all awkward. So, in theory, I could do stuff like this to do angles. And then it gets even more annoying when I want to do things like this. Oh my god. Ah! It's not quite what I was hoping for. But maybe I can get away with equals. Nope. Equals are too small. Working on a Tapper arcade clone for Starlight Skies. Okay. Just because you wanted to do a Tapper clone, I assume? Or were you just wanting, or were you wanting to do a specific thing with that set of mechanics? Let's see here. I guess, actually, let me see if I have the concept art still for our textures. Actually, it's going to be under concept art. All right. So here is our sort of structure that we have for the woods level. If you remember, this is the starting level, second level, graveyard, sort of a fourth area or third area, and then the spider tree stuff. So we have to fit all of this onto a map in a cohesive manner, which is interesting to say the least. So, especially since it was kind of meant to be non-Euclidean. So this is going to be really interesting. And part of the thing that I was thinking about is that I'm not going to do paths that don't need to be traveled. So I would basically just have sort of this path straight to E, then up to F, and then F to the Grove. So it's a little bit more straightforward than the entire map itself, but it needs to be understandable enough that people aren't going to get confused reading it. And then, of course, if we get to the end of the stream today and we don't really have a feel for it, I'll probably just scrap the idea, because it's not crazy important, but it would be a nice thing to have. If you wanted to do the art for a Tapper game but needed someone to do the programming, let's do some kind of Twitch integration. Need to figure out what that is. So cool. Yeah, that'll be tough. Well, no. I mean, Amazon has SDKs, but I don't know if Twitch stuff is actually exposed to anything except for Lumberyard. They probably lock that stuff down to their own platform, unfortunately. Yeah. Ugh, this is gross. I wonder if I can do like superscripts. Let's see what I can do there. Yeah. I mean, that almost works, except it totally doesn't. Like, backfires. Is it like sub? Is that the opposite? It is the opposite. So sub might work. It does make everything tiny, though. And actually, no, that does nothing different, I don't think. So let me go ahead and, like... Yeah, that does. It just makes it smaller, so that's pointless. Well, that's disappointing. This is the fun part about ASCII art, by the way, is trying to figure out how to even represent anything. And again, let me go ahead and... I don't know why I closed it. So this is the general shape that we're going for. So we need a right angle, a straight line, a right angle going left, and then we have an angled path, and that's where we're going to get this ugly looking forward slashes, unless I can find a better way, which does not look like I can. Then we have a circle and our top. So, okay. The circle is something that I forgot about, although I guess I really made it more of an octagon now. So, we'll see what that ends up looking like in the ASCII art. Let's go ahead and just, I guess, try it. Just try to do what we can. So to start off, we're going to have path going up. All right. Now let's go ahead and do subscripts. So subscripts kind of work. It's just going to be a little awkward. Let's do stuff like this. Let's give ourselves a space. And we'll do more. And it's going to be really weird because I'm trying to, oh, right, they don't perfectly match up. So I need to leave spaces basically where things would break. So for example here, this first corner here is meant to be the first corner in the, why do I keep closing it? It's a force of habit. I'm used to closing images when I'm done with them. So it's meant to be this first corner, but since there's technically a path past here, I'd like to leave that open, or at least indicate in some way that other things exist that way. But we'll see. The whole reason I was bringing that up is I need to make sure that I leave a space here. Let's go ahead and do this. All right. I could try to do something like this. No, that's dumb. All right. We'll see what this looks like. So we're about halfway there now. So we'll do another space. Short path here. Then a divide. Oops. Seriously. All right. Fine. Text Mesh Pro. Apparently that was what Command or Control Z did. So here. And freaking really. It's very annoying that they don't perfectly match up. So you have this really jank looking string that's your actual ASCII art, but then it comes together to make this cohesive whole. We're almost actually there. I'd say the tricky part is going to be here for the angle. So let's do // Yep. All right, let's see. How far do I want to go? Yeah, this part's going to suck, actually. Pretty bad. See, I just wish that I could fudge this a little bit more to make them line up a little better, but it really doesn't want to do that. So, yeah, there's not much I can do about that. Unfortunate. All right. Yeah, this is where it's going to get kind of nasty looking. Let's go ahead and bump this down. So this is our maximum height, by the way. I cannot get any higher than this. So that's great. Let's go ahead and try to get rid of one of these lines. Let's shrink this one down as well. And here's where it gets super fun. Backslashes, I think. Oh, man. Yeah. Jeez. Let's see. Yeah, this is super fun. Yeah, it looks totally perfect. Not at all awkward. And no, I don't think this is going to work. It just doesn't look good. Maybe it would be better to have actual. So instead of a topological map, topographical, not topological. Instead of like a map displaying what it would look like from above, maybe I should have a map with a drawing of two trees. Because you got to remember that the solution to get through the woods is simply follow the path with two trees on it, or twin trees, I suppose is the way I phrased it. And as long as I have an ASCII art representation of that, that might actually be enough. So let's try that. So we're gonna have, oh boy, ASCII art trees. That's gonna be even better. Let's try. Oh God, I don't even know. I don't even know. Um, let's see what ASCII art trees look like. Just curious. Just curious. And I suppose it is going to be a little bit of a pine tree, isn't it? Since that's what our trees look like. So let's see. Don't need the zeros or O's. I'm guessing that was for a Christmas tree. So I don't really need any of the ornament style. Man. Oh, risque ASCII art. Probably shouldn't have that. Twitch will yell at me. Okay. So I really would prefer to stay away from letters that are meaningless, but let's go ahead and try that, I guess. So let's add a couple of spaces to start off. Scores. Do something like this. Wow, that just does not work. Okay. So let's do this. Alright. And now, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to shrink back down. Got it. Like, it just starts to look so weird. But then it's still correct. Ugh. Alright. Get a couple more of these. We're going to go to there. There. Okay, let's go 3 for this one. Or no, I guess 4. See, I feel like they're almost too steep. Or too shallow. Not steep enough, actually. Because my tree is coming off as very wide. Let me see. Hold on. Oop. Don't know why I did that. I need to look at my tree prefab. Tree. Pretty sure I only have the 2. Yeah, so it's 2 of them. Okay. So I might go for more of an equal split type of affair. Where are you? Tree 02. There we are. Sort of increase that a little bit. So this is what our trees look like. So yeah, I think I'm gonna actually do this. Bump up a little bit. And do one more layer. Okay. Let's do underscore. Alright, so now we have our beautiful, immaculate trees. Let's go ahead and do our underscores here. And then we're going to need our trunks. Alright, we'll do that. Okay, so copy this, paste. Now it looks too fat. Except, no, it's like off center. That's brutal. What to do about that? That's gonna bug me. That is gonna really bug me. So I either need to have it be really wide, or it has to be off center. Oh my god. That's devastating. Alright, temporary solution. Let's see what this looks like. So we're actually going to make our bases a little bit wider. And at the very top, we will have underscore. Would that work? Yeah, it's okay. But this isn't perfect. I feel like I kind of want to go for more of a in-depth ASCII style. So this is a little too basic. Even so, I'm going to try to tint this stuff to make it look like the way I want it to. let's go ahead and tint this. Let's go for like a paler, darker yellow, I think. Like too dark. Alright, that's not too bad. And this, I'm going to make it more like a charcoal-y, I think is what I'm going to go for. Like that. Maybe a little bit dark. Oh, no, that does not work. I can't do dark gray on black. Okay, so I guess I'm kind of stuck with a gray. Or I could do color, I suppose. So in that case, super fun. We're actually going to need to do some color tags, which is just great. Let's just test it out. Color equals green. So that means that my ASCII art is going to have, it's going to look weird, and it's going to, or when I'm like actually examining the raw ASCII art, and then it's going to have style tags in it. Oh man, this is going to be super great. Okay. Well, all right. Let's go ahead and try to get a second tree going. Or actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do a style tag here. So, no, not style. Color equals, does he have a brown? No. Does he have tan? No. Yellow then. Eek. That's hideous. Yes, I'm going to need like a custom yellow for that. But let's go ahead and, oh, you know what? That's fine. Okay, so that would be our tree, and then I'm wondering if I should do something like, let's go up a little bit, like this. No, that just looks nasty, right? Oh my god, really? Text Mesh Pro? Fine. So I can't really do something like this. Kind of looks a little too streaky, I think. Yeah, and it doesn't work with these bottom ones. Eee. Man. Who'd have thought that ASCII art was so hard? Just kidding, I recognize that it is an incredibly difficult thing to do, and the people who can actually do it quite well are amazing. I am not one of those people, though. So, alright. I guess we could try something like random letters. What if I made it actually say leaf? Would that be too on the nose? Not leaves. That's not going to work. Yeah, because I can't really get it to cleanly say leaf. Although, ooh, yes. Okay, maybe I can. L E A and fuck. I didn't mean to swear. I need to get my swearing under control. Because I was gonna do this, and then I was gonna say leaf the entire way, but I screwed up. Well, maybe not. Let's see what it looks like with F's the entire way across. So once we have that, then we can restart it down here, because it is also 4. So that actually might work out very well. And then, except for underscores, we're going to have just F. Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. And actually, with that L up at the very top, we might even be able to get rid of that. Yeah, that's not too bad. All right. Well, let's go ahead and minimize that. So now we have a little bit more space to work with on the bottom. And yes, okay. Good, good, good. I do need something to fill in the trunk, though. Can't really think of what I would do there. I have 2 letters. I could just do actually a third fill-in like that, and then instead of a bottom, I can just have another one. Not bad. But you know what? I'm gonna do this for now. I don't think it's too bad. We got leaf, leaf. Um, oh, you know what? Let's try tree actually instead of leaf. That might be even better if I actually say tree. So T-R-R-R E-E-E-E and all of these. So tree. I think that leaf gives us a better sort of look because we get variation, as opposed to tree, which has two E's, and that kind of makes it a little too samey. All right. Yeah, I like it. All right. So let's go ahead and copy this. This like whole thing. And oh no, we can't just copy and paste it. Oh, this is a monster. Freaking ASCII art. I can't just copy and paste it because it all has to be in one label, and that means that I essentially have to do layer by or line by line the same thing. So I would actually need to copy this, then paste it over here, and yeah, so we're gonna do this line by line pretty much. Oh, that's so brutal. And see, this is what I was talking about. The inspector is so weird with it. Like, it looks nothing like it does when it's finally put into TextMesh Pro. So it's going to be fun to look at as a string, because it's just going to make no sense and it will not look right. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this. Just paste that. No, so it's got like one extra space that it needs, because of course it does. Paste. And I guess this one needed a lot more. Okay, weird. But enough about me and my terrible problems. Welcome back, Garrett. We've made some progress. Decided to go for more of a ASCII art representation of what you should look at or look for, rather than strict, I guess, top-down view. And it looks terrible in the inspector, but it doesn't look too bad on the actual map. Okay, almost done. Except you know what the worst part is? Is that once we do this, we need to draw the path. Oh my god, it just looks so stupid in the inspector. It looks so bad. It's so confusing. The tops are way to the right. The middle parts are not lined up at all. Just because it treats spacing differently, probably. Yeah, well, I mean, I can still copy paste like all of this, so I can select all of that, and that's fine. Um, by the way, Ragathian, welcome to the stream. But I always just think that working ASCII art in the like anywhere except for TextMesh Pro is kind of fruitless, because eventually when I plug it into TextMesh Pro, there's going to be a lot of weird nuances that the rendering here does that a lot of other places won't. So raw ASCII art is not actually a good fit. I need to do stuff that will look specifically good in TextMesh Pro. And yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's using a weird form of kerning. It's not doing its every character does not take up the same box amount. Um, but you know, and at the end of the day, all that really matters is that it looks good, and then I can copy that entire string. It just means that whenever I look at this string anywhere else, probably it's going to look nuts. Okay, so now I'm going to save, and I'm also going to do this. Let's go to game development, Unity, TextQuest, I guess media, and I'm gonna make a new folder for ASCII art. New folder, art. And then I'm going to make a text document. So this is going to be trees 1. All right. And now I'm going to copy and paste all of this into that document. And that's what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Which seems incorrect to me, actually. So I'm going to actually open that document in Notepad++, because it might give me something a little bit. Okay, yep. Okay, it was just because Notepad sucks and it doesn't do any formatting. So this is going to be fun. I'm going to have to share this on Twitter later. All right. So next, so we have our trees. Next thing we're going to need to do is to have our path. And I was thinking for that, we're going to have probably more of a dusty path in the center here. I might actually need to add some extra space to these trees. I'm Elmer Fudd. Gotta handle these twees. So I'm going to actually move the left tree to the left by 2 spaces, and then the right tree to the right by 2 spaces. We'll see if that works. If I can do that, hopefully I can. Okay. Oh boy. All the spaces. And actually, I think I need to move that to the right by 2 more spaces once I do all this. Because it should have been... Hold on. Yeah, so I need to do 2 more spaces because it's kind of leaning left right now. Well, while I'm doing that, because I was terribly rude, I forgot to ask you, how are you doing, Regathian, today? I always like to ask people whenever they come in. I always forget, especially when I'm doing something, and I feel bad afterwards. Let's see, go over here. All right, so we have our 2 trees, and next is our path that we need to display. And also, real quick, I am going to select all of that. Again, save this, and let's just paste that in there. God, it looks so weird. All right. So, path. How are we wanting to do path? The best part is, like, all of this would be super easy if I just did separate labels for this, but I refuse to do so because I don't know. I don't know why. Because I'm crazy, I guess. But I refuse to do it. So we're going to start really low. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the horizon be here, sort of midway through the tree trunks. And then we'll have a path leading forward and grass everywhere else. Yeah, I think that will work. Let's see. Let's hope. Against hope that it will. Especially because I'm going to have to do this. Oh, jeez. Like this. Awkward. Land termination. Oh my god, it's... I'm going to have to prematurely end the color, too, so I can begin it everywhere. Oh! No. Ah, it's going to be terrible. Okay. Well, let's just see what happens. Go over here. And our color yellow has to end here. Which means that our bottom 2 rows actually need to have their color yellow set up. Color yellow. Color yellow. Alright. Let's see. And then after that, we're going to need to go over here. Alright, so there's our horizon line. Which is going to be super great because we're going to need to have colors set up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different color tags. Alright. ASCII art with rich text tags. Super fun. And our foreground is going to be a little interesting too. So to make it a little easy on myself, I'm not going to actually fill in anything left or right yet. I am going to probably just do the centers, which is great because those are going to be super weird. So let's do that, I guess. Okay, right there. That looks about right. And that brings us to our bottom area, basically. So let's go down one, and we're going to need to have spaces. Okay. Do you think that that's good enough? Because I mean, let's color it in, I guess. Color. Let's see, color. We're going to do color equals green. And we're actually going to have to stop color here. Let's try moving it to the left here a little bit. Should I have a space here then? Yeah, actually that forms a pretty clean break, so we'll do that. And then color equals green. Oh, wow, that was like almost perfect again. Actually, that was perfect. All right. Unfortunately, I don't actually have to constantly cancel out the green color because wrapped tags will, sort of, the more specific the tag, the more priority it has. So yellow tag is going to override our green tag here. And let's go ahead down here. Color. All right. There's green color. Ah, right. Jeez. Okay, so we're going to need to have... Oh man, this is nasty to try and navigate through this inspector. It's like super hard to find out, to see where the cursor is. Okay, so we're going to need color equals yellow. Okay. Color. And then finally... We're going to have color equals yellow here. Color equals yellow. Yeah, we're going to have to cancel that out here. Color. And one more down here. Oh, right. Yellow. And then color. Oh my goodness. ASCII art on the fly. Ridiculous. So this is our path. Should I have a terminating thing? Yeah, I will. Because I'm crazy, I guess. So we're going to have a... It would actually need to be on the same line, wouldn't it? Sigh. Okay. So we're going to change this into a terminating foreground horizon, I guess. That's what I would call that. I don't know what I would call it otherwise. And all the way to the end. All right. Okay, let's get it some more colors. It goes green. Terminate our color. Apparently color is not spelled color anymore. Green. And end our color before... you know what? I might just do this. Saves me some trouble. All right. Wow, that is a lot of effort. That is an insane amount of effort to get that to work right. Especially if... do I want to try and spell grass here? There's a limit on this. I feel like there is a certain point where it will be too cluttered. And I don't know when that point is until I see it. Hold on. So I need to have space at the bottom here for the map's hint. Um, Specifically something that's probably going to say like follow the twin trees. Will. Okay, yep. I'm going to try it. Because why not? Because I'm crazy like that. Oh, except no, that would suck. Um, so I was going to try to basically have the grass actually say grass here, and that would kind of work for a little bit. Oh my god, where? So like I could try to do it here, but it would never really fully materialize as anything. Like it would never make full words. I feel like it would kind of get lost. So simplicity might be the better choice here. Then again, well, it might be better to go for a full ASCII approach. Except I'm not doing that for the trees. I really like that they say leaf. Um, oy. All right. So I think we're gonna leave it as this. I'm not gonna spend way too much time on the ASCII art because it really just needs to be simple enough to convey the idea, and complex enough to just look nice. So let's go ahead and copy that over, and then I'm gonna make another ASCII art document. I'm gonna call no, not a folder. What am I doing? New text document. We're gonna call it map. Let's paste that in there. Save it out. And then we're going to look at it in Notepad++. So this is what it looks like. This is what our ASCII art looks like when it's just strings. Jeez. Oh, man. Hello, 18 Mark Wick. Welcome back. Doing ASCII art stuff today. Specifically, a map. Kind of a map. More like a terrible sketch. And I guess I can close this now. So let's go ahead through here. And I wonder if I should have a like a sword here, an ASCII art sword, to sort of indicate what you would get. Maybe. Yeah, that actually might not be a bad idea. So I'm thinking about adding an ASCII sword sort of in the center here because one, I have a lot of negative space here that's not really being used, but two, that gives people something to look forward to. It intrigues them, makes them want to actually go find these trees and like follow them. So I think we'll try that. Let's try to get a sword in there. And let's see what kind of terrible ASCII art sword I can do. Oh man, this is gonna suck. It's gonna be terrible. And again, it's gonna like completely just bork all of my trees. So I think we can do one more. Yeah, I was a little worried about that. It's a little potentially risque because ASCII art can only look so good. I wonder if I could space that out and make it. Nope, that's not gonna help any. Okay. Let's just hope that the hilt makes this okay. Let's try equal signs. That's not bad. Let's see here. I guess we are going to run into a problem like that, yeah. Okay, so that means that our sword has to be not asymmetrical, but plus sign. That actually doesn't look too bad. It needs to have an odd number of segments to it, so that we can have a hilt up top, and then our sword will be a little thicker below it. So like this. Make it like a super big sword. Let's go back up here. And so that kind of addresses that issue too, but not really. Still kind of looks bad. And I don't really think that people would get sword from that. That looks vaguely sword-like. Um, it looks like a really thick sword. That makes it too weird, I think. Like, I wouldn't look at that and immediately think sword. Oh, well, that didn't work. Hold on. Let's try sticking one more bit on the handle. Nah. I mean, if I was going for more like the top half of a sword, which could be used to represent, it's in a stone, but now people don't want to know that and they don't care. So let's go ahead and put this back. Oh, oh no. Okay. Spaces. It's. I gotta remember that I gotta like make sure that everything always lines up properly. Otherwise, I will very easily lose my shape, and then I will be very angry and sad. 1, 2, 3. Thin pine cone. Yeah. Oh, by the way, how are you tonight, 18 Markwick? Forgot to ask when you joined. Okay, so I guess I could do for more like an angled sword approach. Jeez. And I'm gonna cheat as well. I'm not actually going to cheat long term, but I am going to cheat right now. And by that I mean I'm going to make another label here, and it's not going to have anything in it, just so that I can sort of try ASCII art a little bit easier, not have to worry about it. Let's go over here. You know what? I wonder if I centered my stuff, would that make it look different? I mean, it wouldn't make the actual shape look different, but it could do good positioning stuff with it. Anyway, so let's try doing like an angle shape. Let's see. Something like that. Let's see here. So that would be our single quotes. Double quotes. Oh yeah? Still working on the CSGO map? Cool. How's the map coming along? Let's see here. So, sword. Make more sense. Yeah, so single quotes are basically just half-sized forward slashes. Okay. Let's try something like this, maybe? Move this over by a bunch. Can I actually do like a straight and then no, that's not gonna work. Well, no, that's not gonna work. Dang it. So I can't do that, but I could do something like this, maybe. It makes it look a little bit more boxy than I would like. Yeah, so let's try straight down, followed by that. It's really close. If only this kerning wasn't quite like that. Yeah, see, I was right. Okay, so the kerning, or not the kerning, the orientation, the alignment will actually affect how this stuff gets laid out. That's good to know. Okay, so let me try this again. Except this time, so it's gonna be a little awkward here. Let me turn off the first label. All right. So this time we're gonna try to space this a little bit better. Oh yeah, and I guess we'll give ourselves 50 on each side. Okay, so over one. Not quite, unfortunately. Dang. It's really close. It's just, I can't. If I could just move this over a little bit somehow, it would be much better. I can't really fudge it. Then again, actually, let me take a look at TextMesh Pro stuff real quick. CPL soft, standard assets, TextMesh Pro, user guide. It's there. There's no textures yet. Half the main build is complete. Cool. Making progress at least. Okay. So there should be a bunch of style tags here that we can look at real quick. New bold, italics, underline, strike through, superscript. Oh, position. Okay. What can I do with that? That might be useful, actually. Let's try that. Okay, so we have position, pose equals 5. That did nothing. Or did it? No, that did nothing. Dang it. 5.5. Yark. What did he do? No. Dang it. That doesn't seem to actually do anything. Maybe I'm just not doing it right. No. Let's try jumping that up. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, what happened? To 10? Okay. No, it does do something then. 15? 13? Let's try like 20. Okay. Can I do negatives? I can do negatives, I think. I guess the way to check would be to make that 0. I can do negatives. Yes. Okay. So we can fudge positioning with rich text. Yes. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. That is exciting, actually. So we're going to do pose equals, let's do like -5 for now. They might be fighting each other then. Oh, that would suck. Yeah, that's not ideal. Dang it. So I would have to manually do this one then. Let's do like 25, 45, 35. Can I just do like 30? Nope, 35 it is. Okay, I mean, it's not super great, but I mean, it does give us that sharp edge, which is kind of nice. All right. Do I need to like? No. Okay. So let's go ahead and bump some of this down. So I guess if I have that position tag, I could actually, I could get some pretty good results with that. But, excuse me. It might be a little too prone to breakage based on resolutions. Dang it, that makes it dangerous. I really wish that it didn't do immediate offset from the left. It would be more like offset from its default positioning. But you know, can't win them all. So, all right, let's try lining this up. Let's do one more, and then we'll need to do the cross section, I would think. And actually, darn it. If I could lower it, like if I could get the lower half of a /, I would be happy here. Okay, let's see what we can do. Maybe I can do a subscript. Oh my goodness. So that certainly lowered it, but I'm probably going to need to increase the font size for that. So I think I want a size equals 48. deal. Oh, crap. Subscript might actually just make it a fixed size, which would be very unfortunate. Let's try to make this like 120. Oh, no, okay, it doesn't. But apparently it also doesn't want to play nice. So, dang it. So subscript won't work. So close. Let's see, what other ones can I do? Do superscript, subscript. So no victory there, unfortunately. I guess that means that I need to treat this as the cross section. I was hoping to get a little bit more up so I could have more like a 45-degree angle type deal, but we're gonna have to make do. So that's the hilt, or that's the blade. Sorry. Oh, wrong button. And oh, geez, this is gonna be super weird. It's not bad so far. Do I want to do one more? Let's try that. No, that's too much. So I want to come over here then and do a forward. No. Yeah, see, we're kind of. Oh, you know what? I always forget to try and experiment with special characters, and I never do it. I should try it, see what happens. Like I think too linearly. I think in lines. I don't think in. There's no reason why special characters might not be useful here. Like that. That looks pretty cool. Like what if I use that here? Dang it. It almost looks right, but the extra space at the bottom right makes it a little too awkward. But I do kind of like it. Still, though. Let's see what else we got. I have renders it as an arrow. That's interesting. Ampersand, asterisk, parentheses, plus sign, equals. Nope, none of those are good. Brackets. Nope. Alright, I might just go with this then. So, do we think that 2 is too much? Would 1 be okay? That's not too bad. Let's go ahead and make this white, and then try to color things in with style tags as we need them. So let's go color equals yellow, and then color equals blue. Am I doing this right? Yes, the hilt is blue if I remember correctly. Color equals blue. Oh, also that's, yeah, don't need the weird end color equals blue. And then we're going to have a lot of this, I think. Color equals yellow. Color equals yellow. Color is equal to, can I do gray? No, it doesn't have gray. I'll do white. That's fine for now. And color. Oh, yeah. Jeez, all the rich text. And color. And color. And finally, we will end with, I guess it would be color. All right, so here's where we're going to have color equals white. Oops, that was weird. Go all the way down here to the bottom before ending with and color. So that's our totally amazing, hyper-realistic sword art. I think, I don't think I've ever seen a better looking sword. Like, and I've seen just amazing works of art with swords, but this is just the best I think I've ever seen. So I might actually have for the hilt a little like I don't know at or something just to give it a little bit more flavor, something like that. And that's almost like perfect. That is like perfectly positioned actually. So color equals blue and color. All right. I think that's probably about as good as I can get. Um, and you know what? I'm fine leaving it at that. I'm fine saying that that's our sword ASCII art. And, for fun, we're going to copy this and we're going to make a new ASCII thing. So new text document, sword, not score, sword. Let's open that up with notebook. And there we go. That's our wonderful ASCII art. Oh man. Like all of these just look so nuts. Um, okay. So we have our sword, and I'm wondering if at this point I should really just have it be a separate label, because it's gonna suck to try and do that in here. Let me go ahead and zoom out here. I'll try to position it so that we can get a sense of what it does look like. So it would be something like this. I might shrink it down font size wise. It feels a little too big. Like if I made it, I don't know, 3/4 of that size, I bet this screws up my entire placement. Yeah, yeah, that's making it pretty bad. 36, do like 32. Oh, it just keeps getting worse. 32. Do I want to do like 26? Oh, it's getting painful now. Hold on. I think I might be able to save it by just like offset. Oh no, it's just gonna be terrible all the time. So it was 42. Yeah, let's try 24. I think I can do that. I just need to change some of these values. Hold on. So can I put this over? Or maybe I just need to add a space to everything. That would be super convenient. Oh my, I think that's all I gotta do. Ha ha ha! Okay, so that's not too bad. And I will, I guess, adjust this to be like 25. Oops. We'll make it 30. 30 and then 40. Yeah, there we go. It kind of looks like my sword has a little bit of a wobble here. I can't tell if that's just because it's not in full screen and it kind of looks weird, but like it just sort of looks like it dents in a little bit here, and that's really bugging me. But we'll leave it anyway. So this is what it would probably look like. Get the sword sort of in the center here. Give people something to look for. And then we'll have a little cryptic message down here at the bottom that will probably say something like, let's go ahead and duplicate this. Get rid of all of you. And we'll have you be at the very bottom as well. So, bottom and, no, really? Okay, let's do 0 from the bottom. Seriously. Okay, 25. There we go. Follow the... Yeah, it's an ogre's killing sword, so they have thick skulls. Follow the twin trees to the hero's sword. And we're going to shrink this down to like 36. Okay. That's pretty good. Think that looks fine. ASCII art map-wise. There's a lot more in-depth than I was thinking it would be. Just to make things look right. I also might try, because I forgot about the whole underscoring capability of it. Try putting underscores on these Fs. Let's see, what are the commands for that? Underline is U. Okay, let's try that. Oh my goodness. I might do it for actually everything. So, yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. So, do an underline there. And I mean, because I'm a perfectionist, I do have to like stop it here and then restart it again 3 things later. Oh, and also that's beginning U. Sorry. Seriously? There we go. Jeez. Okay. So let's copy all of that, and we're gonna paste that down here. And same thing down here, I think. Now, I guess with some extra Fs. Oh god, I lost my spot. Okay, there it is. Let's see. F, and just an extra F over here. It is super complicated. I cannot stress how weird it is to try and look at all of this and sort of visually reconstruct what it's supposed to be in your head from all of this imprecise data in the inspector. It's just very hard to map all of that. Okay. So this is our map. I like it. I really do. Oh my god. It took forever. So, we are going to need a map section. And map sections will be a custom text section that they won't be interactive. They don't need to be. Do I want to have them be able to turn the map over? No. No. Don't need to do that. Take a quick drink. All right. So yeah, I'm going to make a map section. The map section is going to have a border, which is going to be our border label. It's going to have our content image, I suppose, which will be a label, technically. And then a hint, and the hint will just be down here at the bottom, most likely. I really want to avoid having just a boiler template, not a boiler template, actually, like a heavily customized thing that shows up whenever you read or examine a map. I would really like to avoid that. So I would like to populate all of this data into a prefab that can then interpret it correctly. But God, it is nasty to do so. So I'm going to treat this as a one-off thing. I don't know where else, honestly, I will have an ASCII map. This was the place that I thought it would be most useful. So I might have another one later on, but if there's only 2 of them, I don't think it's too bad, really, to do it this way. Okay, so let's change this then. Try to position it a little bit better. So I'm going to call this sword label. Capital L, come on. And let's go ahead and I guess we'll put it down here. Oh god, this is going to be so weird. 200. That's its position. Its width needs to be 200, I think. Yeah, about 200. Height probably also needs to be about 200. Yay, it's like right there. So position X is actually going to be 0. And 0Y? Let's do 50. Okay. So it's going to be fixed in place right here in the center. I think that's fine. Yeah, it's a beautiful map. Just okay. So let's start naming these labels real quick. I'm going to call this, I guess, map label. I know what else to call it. And then this will be hint label. Hint label. All right. So let's go ahead and add a new section. So we're going to have create folder maps. Create sharp script map section. And I guess the weird thing here is that I don't really know what I need the map section to do if I'm just going to have it be a hard-coded thing that shows up. Like it's always going to look like that. There's not much code that needs to go on. I just need to always make it show up. See, but part of the reason that I didn't want to do a hard set section like that is that later on when I'm doing custom game stuff, I want to expose some of this to people. So, all right. Let's go ahead and do this at least. So, text quest is going to derive from input section. Why are you mad? All right. And actually, do I want to derive from input section or text section? What does book section derive from? Book section derives from interactive. Text section doesn't it? Yeah, and that derives from just text section, which just has a label. Okay. So I'll derive it from text section then. Let's see. So text section. All right. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. And I don't know why initialize came below. Deinitialize. ABC. Oh yeah. Actually, you know what? Well, no, we're not gonna do that until I actually get to that spot. I was gonna say I was thinking of stuff to do later in the week for the Devstream, and one of the things that I want to try and do is Pig Latin and not being able to type with specific letters. So that's for stuff that's happening later on in the game, and we haven't gotten there. The level isn't there yet, but they're mechanics that I do intend to use, so it might be interesting to examine. We'll see if I can't think of something else to do by Thursday. Anyway. So we're going to have a label. We're also going to have using TM Pro up here. Using TM Pro. Say public text mesh pro UGUI. This is going to be our hint label. And love the streaming. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Sorry, your color was the same as 18 Markwicks. Hi, Coquette. Welcome to the stream. I don't know why I saw color before I saw the name. Huh. Anyway, yeah, we're currently doing ASCII art for our map and working on an actual map section. So, oh yeah, and don't worry about the caps. I am not bothered by that as long as it's not blatant all the time. I feel like I need a shock collar every time I go It's my freaking placeholder word. It's like Shaggy's like. How he says like in front of everything, and it's an annoying habit that I have, and I always try to break myself of it. But then I just do it anyway because I hate silence more than. In any case. Welcome to the stream, Kaket. Which, before I forget, I always like to ask people, how'd you find the stream? Just randomly walking through Twitch, seeing what was down at the bottom of the barrel. How many phrases can I have to self-depreciate myself? I don't know. Anyway, so we're gonna have initialize, and actually, see, I did it again. I just said It's a terrible, terrible thing. I just need someone to hit me over the head with a board whenever I do it. Well, I'm glad that I'm at least somewhat capable of entertaining people and explaining everything. I do try to talk everything through. Jeez, I'm noticing it more and more now. But I do feel like sometimes I tend to ramble, which I always feel bad about, especially if it's doing something really weird. I always feel like I never am quite coherent enough or interesting enough. But that's just me. You can hit me with the board. Yeah, I just need. I don't know. That should be my streaming integration. I should have something where if people type a specific command, it's just gonna like shock collar me whenever I say the word See, but then I'm just gonna switch to So we have our hint label. The next thing we need to do is, let me see what our other sections are doing. I'm pretty sure that I have just a completely different sort of initialization. Initialize text settings. I guess actually the settings get passed in as book settings. So, okay. See, now you're all going to start noticing it way more too, that I say a lot. Oh yeah, before I forget, I always want to ask this too, Kiket, since you have been lurking for a while. When'd you come in on the stream? Just so I can get a gauge how much of it you've seen. So let's see, we're going to initialize, and we're going to have a new settings, I guess, for map sections as well. And that's going to change from place to place. So let's come down here. Create a new C# script. We're going to call this map. Uh-oh. Did I hit enter by accident? I might have hit enter by accident. No, it's because it's compiling. Yeah. Map section settings. All right. Reload. Where are you? There we are. Make sure that this drives. Text quest. Text quest. It's going to derive from section settings. And we will also have public string help, or not help, hint text is equal to nothing. And what else do I have in here? I have show name, spaces before, and auto scroll duration. So I guess I would need, no, it would pretty much just be hint text to start off with. And then any other extra map sections that we have would have, I guess I would call it more individual string settings. Hold on, no. What if we made it a list? And then we can associate. It's going to be a little bit more strict that way if I have a list of strings for actual content. But then I can associate specific strings in specific ways for maps, which would actually allow for a greater amount of customization should I choose to expose this stuff later down the road. Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's go ahead and say using system.collections.generic is going to be public list string. I guess I would call it map ASCII art. And you know what? I'm going to make it an array, actually, instead of a list. It would, I mean, it's going to suck if people want to generate this stuff multiple times because I'm going to have to keep regenerating the array, but you know, long-term, arrays would be more efficient. started using Unity recently, and I used to watch streamings of Unity. There are streams with more views, but I don't really get what they do most of the times. Well, thank you. I think. Um, yeah, there's definitely a lot more advanced streams going on in the sense that they're doing way more crazy things. But a lot of my mechanics are a little bit more down to earth, I guess. So, eh. But hey, I'm glad that people enjoy it at least and get some use out of it. And if you're learning Unity, feel free to ask anything. I'll try to do my best if you have any questions. Um, More entertaining than Lyric? I don't think I've ever seen Lyric. I've also been terrible at keeping up with other streamers. I really should do it more. I'm bad at it. And they stream whenever I'm streaming, or they stream when I'm at work, and I'm bad at doing stuff. I can't listen to people stream. I like to watch them while they stream. I'm terrible at it. Anyway, so we have our map section. It's going to be hint text, which is the stuff that you'll see down here at the bottom, and then we'll have a array of ASCII art that will be used for the actual images, and how the ASCII art is interpreted will be up to each individual map section. So now we don't actually need individual map section settings. Instead, we can do that with just the single map section settings class. Because, for example, this map right here, we have two separate map images. We have our sword, and then we have our sort of foreground with trees and path and whatnot. So I might need to end up doing something with this just to make it fill in a little bit more. But so that would be two different strings, and then we can associate those two strings specifically with a specific label. So the first string would probably be our background, and the second string would be our sword, and then our hint text would be here at the bottom. So yeah, I kind of like that. Okay. So the question here is, how do we want to do this? I guess deinitializing wouldn't really do anything anymore. Well, I might actually also have map sections pass in the color for the map. So let's go ahead and say public color. Oh, right. I'm not using Unity engine. Map color equals color.white. It's good to have a white color by default. That way, if it ever screws up, it's not going to be like black and therefore transparent. Well, not transparent, but pretty much invisible on a dark background. Okay, so come over here. I suppose we'll also want a reference to public text mesh pro UGUI. I suppose I would call it the map label. No, we'll call it the border label. We'll call it map border. So, tooltip, might as well. Label for the maps border ASCII art. Tooltip. Label to display a hint. I guess that's pretty much all it's going to do. I don't know how else to phrase that. All right, so when we initially come in, we're going to say map settings equals settings as map section settings. Then we will say map border label dot color is equal to map settings dot map color, and hint label dot text is equal to map settings dot hint text. It's kind of weird having this section setting stuff in here, because I'm basically passing a bunch of different strings now instead of just one single string. But I guess only in special cases like this. Okay. And deinitialize is not really going to do anything. It doesn't need to, because initialize will wipe away any changes anyway. So, I mean, I suppose I could clean it up and just have it be something like hint label dot text is equal to nothing. That's pretty much all I would need to do. Okay, let's let that compile. What's going to be super satisfying, by the way, is once this is working, and then we see it actually implemented with the mechanics, it's going to feel great, and I will be so happy. I will be just so happy, assuming that it works. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another C#. By the way, I'm kind of curious what collaborate. And I've never seen that tab before. I haven't really explored much of 5.6. So we're going to call this one Woods Map. Not great, but section. Oh, by the way, speaking of Unity versions, I have been messing around with Unity 2017. Mostly because I'm starting to port my Flash avatar guy down there at the bottom right, who poses whenever I talk. I'm porting him over to Unity so I can do more fun things with him, I guess, than I can do in Flash. And one, that's super complicated because Unity doesn't detect inputs if it's not in the foreground, which is great because I want him to show typing whenever I type. But let's see, what's map section? I have had the chance to mess around with timeline. Yeah, so Unity 2017 is the new Unity switching to an annual year-based number. So instead of Unity 6, it's going to be Unity 2017. And the 2017 beta just came out last week, I think. So we're going to do all this stuff. So text quest. By the way, every time you don't see me moving and I'm talking, I'm like gesturing with my hands because I gesture a lot with my hands. I need to stop doing that on the stream because you guys can't see that. Although I guess my avatar is doing that. And that's kind of why I had him do that, because I do that with my hands. Anyway, but yeah, the Unity 2017 beta is out. It's beta 1, but it does have, let's see, so it's going to be from map section. And this is where it's going to get super fun. Actually, move this over. So I think oh dear. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Get rid of that, and instead of hint label, we're just going to have label equal that, because then our actual map stuff can be a little bit more controlled. Anyway, so yeah, 2017 beta is out. Is the 4.6 in Unity 2017? What do you mean 4.6? You mean the UI system, like UGUI? Like anyway, text quest is still in 5.6. It's not in the 2017 beta. I'm not that crazy. I won't upgrade to a beta that soon. But it's in beta 1. Timeline is their new fancy cinematics editor, and I was messing around with that this past weekend, and I got some cool walking animation cycles going with my guy, amongst a couple of other things. But it's pretty cool so far. There's a lot of interesting new features for sprites and 2D stuff, but it's overall not a huge change from 5.6, at least for what I'm doing. There is a lot of, like I said, a lot of 2D and sprite-based things that are really cool, but they're not really that important to me personally. Let's see. Public. Oh, I'm going to need TM Pro up here, aren't I? Using TM Pro. Okay. So we're going to say public text mesh pro UGUI. Call it map label. Yeah, okay, I'll do that here. Oy. Yeah, no, it's fine. So public text mesh pro UGUI map label tooltip label for the maps ASCII art. And I guess I will make this an abstract class, just so that I don't accidentally end up using the map section itself. It should always be a specific version of it. Oh, yes, I did see that. So there is a difference in the netcode stuff. So right now in Unity 5.6 and older, it's using net version .NET version like 2, I think, 2.0, and in Unity 2017, it seems to have been upgraded to 3.5 by default and 4.5 experimental, if I remember correctly. There's like a drop down for it, but the default is now 3.5, which is way better than 2. But it does seem like they're upgrading that, so they are upgrading the .NET version, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to change this to sword label, I guess. Sword label. Okay. So we're going to say override initialize. We'll call base.initialize, and then do I want to override? Yeah, probably no. No, I won't do that. So we're going to do our base.initialize, which will fill in our hint text, our hint label, and then we're going to need to use this initialize to fill in our specific ASCII art stuff. So we're going to say map label dot text is equal to, oh right, I can't really do settings yet. There we go. So we're going to have to do map section settings. Map settings is equal to settings as map section settings. All right. So map label dot text is going to be equal to map settings dot map ASCII art of 0. So I know this is going to look nasty to some people, and it kind of looks nasty to me. Normally I would not do it this way, but so instead of map label, it's going to be sword label. The reason that I'm sort of adopting this array-based approach that's very generic is because even though it's a little bit more brittle than a more explicitly coded solution, I will hopefully in the future be able to expose a map section, like a custom map section, for the custom game, for the custom text-based adventure stuff, which means that I need to be able to allow people to, come up with whatever ASCII art they want and however many labels they want to put in there. Because I'm an insane person who wants to have an incredibly customizable game. Because I don't know. There's something wrong with me. Send help. Anyway. So there's initialize. I think that's going to handle it for the most part. The next thing we do need to do, however, is we are not going to be able to simply have the map be an item anymore. We do actually need to make it a map. And we are going to actually have to make it a specific type of map. Although, actually, I guess we wouldn't have a base map class, because a base map class would just do whatever items do. So we're just going to have a specific class for our woods map, which is a little unfortunate, but we'll see how bad that is. So let's remove this component. We will add a woods map section. All right, so our this is going to be super fun. Let's go ahead and do this. Border label. It's going to be our map section dash woods. All right. So we have our border label. There's our hint label, our map label, and then our sword label. Okay. And let's go ahead and select this. We're going to drag this down here into our sections. Let's make it something like that with a width of 1200 and a height of, 500. 1280 by 575 then. 1280 by 575. I like to just make it approximately what it would look like. Let's see here. Everything else is fine, I think. Yep. Yep. Shite. Oh no. I might have made a bit of a stupid move. So, hold on. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, that's bad. So, so with the prompt and let me rephrase that. With the input line, which always has to be displayed next to whatever is visible, it pushes our map down a little too much. Is this zeroed out? I suppose I can check, but I'm pretty sure that it's too close to the bottom there, which means that I need to knock off one row. Oh no, that's bad. That's really bad. Crap. So to show you what I mean, let me go ahead and pull in my book section. Where is my book section? Is it? Its position is super weird. Okay. Huh. Okay. What the heck is going on here? Weird. Okay. Let me try that again. Book section, output. Oh, it's because I put it on the wrong spot. No wonder. It's weird that its position X is not really affected. Anyway, scroll area, output. Right. Although it is kind of annoying to try and scroll this without a scroll bar. It means I just have to manually position this, I think. So, hooray! Let's go ahead and pull this up to show you what I mean. That's interesting. It fights with it. So that is what a book looks like, and books by far are the biggest thing we have until we did maps today. But so the line is right here, which I guess is pointless for you guys because I'm holding my finger to it. And yep, crap. Oh, that sucks. I need to trim off one line. I think it's going to be this middle one right here, which is brutal. Just brutal. Okay. Oy. Oy. That's going to be really, really brutal. It's just because the reason that I say that is because it's really. I have certain rules that I've set for myself whenever I do these things. One is that for large scale ASCII art like this, it has to be completely self-contained with a single line of input for itself. So that means that when you type your input, you should be able to see at least one line of your input and the entire ASCII art. So because of the way it's done, that's technically possible. This is what it would look like, as we saw. Like it would be something like that. But it's too close to this bottom line, is the problem. And what that does is it causes what I call bleeding. I don't really know what the correct term for it is. But basically, when two things are really close together, even though you can, like, you understand that they're two separate things, your eyes will still sort of mix them together, and it makes it difficult to read. Now, fortunately, they're not labels; they're not actual text that you need to read. But because their shapes are so close together, these two horizontal lines, it becomes kind of weird. It looks like the book gets cut off, or the map gets cut off, even though it's not. And you can clearly see that when you look at it, you'll be able to rationalize to yourself. It's not actually being cut off, but it will still look like that, and that really bugs me. I am a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to things like this, which is why it takes me so long to do web work, by the way, and why I never recommend doing web work, because drives you insane trying to get things to look right on the web. But anyway, enough about my terrible, terrible obsessive tendencies. Yeah, so that's not great. The easiest thing to do would be to just sort of trim off this bottom line here. And we can see what that looks like. I know I'm not going to like it, but we could see it. Delete you. And real quick, I guess. Yeah, so this is what it would look like when it's maximized scroll. So let's go down here to our map label. Oh boy. Whoo! It's going to drive me nuts. So I think it would be something like this. Yeah. And that's not terrible. It's unfortunate, but it's not terrible. So let me try this. Okay. So I'm going to sort of recreate that line that I had for the horizon, just to try and make it look a little bit all right. So we're going to want, oh geez, yellow, yellow, yellow. We're going to want it right here, I think. Okay, it looks like we need one more thing gone. There we go. And we're going to do something similar. After our yellow lines here, kind of, oh geez, seriously, come on, work with me here. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. Pasting that in. Okay, so that's what it would look like. It's not as nice. It feels a little bit more, a little too close together. That makes it, again, like this, two spaces was great. It gave you enough sense that it was the ground that you were looking at, but this actually makes it feel too, it's because of the tree stumps here. The trunks are too, they're bleeding into the foreground, basically, and then your mind gets cluttered, and it doesn't quite know how to process the image. So even though you're looking at it, it looks wrong. Even though you know what it is, it still looks wrong. And that's the problem, is that it can't look wrong. Jeez. How would I fix this? Okay. There are potential fixes. If I shorten my trees basically by one row, I could get away with it, I think. And I can't just have one row of trunk either, because then it looks like a stubby little tree. It doesn't quite look right. So I need two rows here. Oh man, that sucks. It's very sad because it was great that, leaf could be spelled, but I guess it was not meant to be. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave it like that though for now. And I'll mess around with some more ASCII art stuff, just try and get a good feel for it. Because at the end of the day, right now it's not the best time, I guess, for me to be experimenting with that. That's so disappointing. Let's go ahead and come down here. We'll get rid of one row. Boom, that's what it looks like. And then suddenly it's perfectly legible and it's far enough away from the bottom that it works. That's disappointing though. It's really disappointing. What makes it really worse is that I feel like I might be able to fudge this foreground stuff if I underlined our trees with green. But with yellow, it won't look right. And to show you what I mean real quick. Let's come down here. Okay, come on. Yeah, I get it. You want to highlight everything. Okay. Yeah, that's another weird thing, is that I can't really click, otherwise it's going to go nuts. Oops, that's not the right one. Oh, jeez. Wait, Was that really not the right one? Yeah, nope, that's right. That's not the right one. Okay, so it's going to be this one, I think. So if I could make this work, like somehow make this underline green to make it look like the tree is going into the grass, then I think I could get away with it, but no, I don't think I could do that with this. So that's disappointing. But I will still mess around with it. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and click off that, select that all, and paste it into our map text. So there it is. There's our wonderful map ASCII art. I would post that in Twitter as raw string, except I am pretty sure that that is over 140 characters, which is a shame because that would be hilarious just to post that and not even talk about it. Just post it randomly. I guess I could. Nope. Even the sword's probably way more than 20 or 140 characters. Oh man, ASCII art. It's nuts. Okay. Either way, let's go ahead and try to get this into the actual game now, at least. Okay. And let me think. Do I need to do anything else for this? No. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this. Oh, that's interesting. If the inspector is different, it lets you actually interact with it. That's super weird. Okay, I'm going to put you in the center. 0. 1280 by 575. All right. So that's our section, or our wood section map. Let's go ahead and get rid of everything else. Let's turn off our input. Let's just revert you real quick, and let's add. Where are you? Map section woods before applying. All right. Turn off our UI. And we're not done yet because I do actually need to create a specific class for maps. So, well, not for maps. I guess it's just going to be called woods map. Actually, no. I think I can get away with a single class because it's just going to populate that generic array. I can't talk tonight. That generic array. Then I can actually just have the section settings be the thing that determines what to do. That makes sense. Did I freeze it? I think I froze it. Shite, I double clicked. I hate it when I do that. Come on, you can compile. I believe in you, Unity. Well, anyway, while that's going on, back on the subject of Unity 2017, because it's been 15 minutes later and I just thought of some more stuff to say about it. It is available in public beta, so if you haven't had a chance to download it and mess with it, I recommend it, just to see what's going on. They've done some asset improvement stuff, like the importing process. I haven't looked into it too much, but apparently they've prioritized scripts, I think. So scripts load first. Let's see. So there's going to be maps, I suppose. Don't really have much there, but create. So we'll call it map item. I don't know what else to call it really. So okay, we'll double click on that. And this is going to be fun because now I actually need to add a map section, I think. Wait. I think I can get away with this. Yes, I think I can. Okay, hold on. Map section. Here we are. So, instead of map sections not hint text, I think actually, so for map section settings, we don't need a hint text value because that hint text can just be the value that's passed in through our text here. So instead of hint text, it's just going to be text. So that saves us a little bit more. Okay. Make sure I'm not doing anything with it here. Good. So that saves us a whole field that doesn't need to be populated. And instead, we can do stuff like color and whatnot. Hooray! That's a little bit. No, that's fine. Yes, I know that feeling, Garrett. It is a wonderful feeling. And hopefully we will be able to do that in 15 minutes-ish. Hopefully. We'll find out. Okay, we'll let that compile. I'm going to come back over here. And I'm going to add a new value over here. Let's duplicate this. I'm going to call this map. Okay. And let's see here. What all do I need for a map? I think it's just going to be the ASCII art, honestly. And in that case, I can get rid of like all of this. So get rid of you. Where are you? Delete. And I can change this to ASCII art. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've done these. Yeah, okay, I underscore. And when I eventually export this stuff, I can actually use some of my new features that I developed for my export sheet data stuff. Hooray! Okay, so let's duplicate this. Make a copy. Takes forever, apparently. Good God. We're going to move this to the overworld. Move this to the cabin. Uh-oh. Don't know what this one is doing here. Did I populate this with anything? I don't think I did. No, I'm going to delete it. It's old. From February, dear God. Remove. Do I have anything in items? No, good. Items. I might actually need to add some more stuff to my export sheet data stuff just to make it all work properly. Okay, so let's get rid of the things we don't need. Delete this. Delete this. Pretty much we're going to delete everything that's not an item, basic info, the map, and the verbs and word check stuff. Weapon, so we don't need that, and everything else is necessary. So, good God. My object system has gotten way too complicated. Alright, so this is going to be maps. I don't know what else I would call a map besides the map. Let's see, description, an old dusty map that needs quotes because there's a comma. Or let's just make it dusty old map. A dusty old map. Because then I don't need quotation marks. There we are. Text color, I guess I'll leave it as default for now. Adjectives would be dusty and old. Ignoring groups is false. Alright, item. Item ID, woods, map. No underscore there. Type, default, I believe is fine there. Equip type, none, if I remember correctly. It's not a light, its weight can be 1. No combat effects. I guess we'll leave it as a hand. Effect amount. I might end up moving that stuff into a separate area. It's kind of dumb for it to be in here. So, all right, map. This is where we paste in those crazy strings, by the way. All right, so this is our first string. Oh no, it pasted them as separate things. There we go. Okay. Insert one below. Then our second one is going to be our sword. I'm going to copy you. Oh, that's not right anymore, I don't think. Hold on. Double check that. Map section. Let's go to our sword. Yes, it was not correct. Almost made a mistake. Because we changed the font size, so I needed to update positioning and whatnot. Copy that. Paste this down here. Oh, right, I can't do it that way. There we go. See, I knew it was going to look super weird, so let's resize this column to like 400, and that's what it looks like. This is what our ASCII art looks like as a raw string. It's super fun. Alrighty then. You know what? I bet I could trim some of this green coloring. I think about it because you can see that I'm like double dipping. Whatever. This is just a raw, rough pass anyway. Let's see. Verbs. Take is going to be add to inventory. Equip and all that's going to be nothing. Don't need to worry about any of this stuff. Insert, extract, eat, default fail. Yeah, I'll leave that as okay. Fine. Lock, extinguish, read is going to be text only, I guess. That's fine. And examine, text only. So the read is going to be our hint now, as will default, or sorry, examine. So we're going to say follow the twin trees to the hero's sword. Okay. That's going to be the same thing as examine. See, this is where I'm kind of torn, because I feel like typing examine should give you a description of the object, whereas read should give you the actual ASCII art. And I know that it's not as intuitive that way, but at the same time, by leaving examine open to do things like describe it, I can give more hints. For example, with like a description saying it's an old map of the seemingly pointing to the surrounding area. A little note at the bottom is, you see a little note at the bottom of the page. I don't know. I'll see what it does. That's fine for now. Default fail on all this stuff. Let's see. Oh, man. I'm not going to worry about the actual contents besides all this stuff. I was trying to think up insults and whatnot, and I don't think that's something I need to focus on right now. No required items, no obtainable items, no item checks, no word checks. We're all fine there. Okay, let's go to our export sheet stuff. We're going to do JSON, all sheets. Don't need to replace existing files, but I'll check that off anyway. Unwrap single sheets. Don't do that. Don't need to force string values. We will export cell arrays. We'll also export sheet arrays, and we will also export value arrays, which is a new thing. And that's just going to turn our map over here, instead of an array of two different objects, it's going to be one array with strings. And I think that's all we need to do. So I'm going to visualize that, see what it looks like. So here's what we get. Info. That's fine. Unwrapping single rows. Okay. Yet it still shows up. I wonder why. That's fine. Let's see here. Item. Yeah, and that's so this is what our JSON array looks like with all of that wonderful ASCII art in there. Okay. So everything else should be fine, I think. Yeah, we should be good. All right. So let's let's go ahead and export that. And then I'm going to have to export it again, of course, because I didn't name it correctly. So we'll call this woods map. Delete that. Let's try that again. Export. All right, now we can download this. Why can Google Docs not preview JSON objects or JSON documents? It's very weird. All right. Where do I want to put you? Let's see here. Models, data, interactions, interaction data. I am curious where I was keeping this stuff. Okay, good. So let's go to the cabin and items. Oh my goodness, some of this stuff is super old. Well, let's go back to this real quick. Show this in folder. Pull up Unity. There's our woods map. Just drag that in here. All right, there's our JSON file. And now we can actually get that plugged in. So let's remove you. We have to come down here to our map item, drag that on. It's not going to do anything yet. All right, so this is going to derive text quest. So cool. I hope so. I'm going to feel very, very sad if this doesn't work whenever we first try it. Or at the very least, if it doesn't work within like 5 minutes of us trying to do it. I'm going to be very, very disappointed. Anyway, item. Okay, we're going to have a couple of extra spots. So we're going to have public input section. I guess it wouldn't even be input section. It's actually going to be map section. And that's going to be map section prefab. So we're going to pass this specific section whenever we read or examine. I guess whenever we read. Crap. Hold on. Override. Do verb, I think is what we want. Do verb. Yeah. Go to definition here. Yeah. So basically we're going to do this. Excuse me. We're going to copy that. Paste that down here. Default. Return. All right. And then let's come back down here. Got the do verb function. I even redid a lot of this stuff, probably within the last week or so, and it's still a nasty thing to look at for me. There's just so much that it's really bad. All right, let's see here. So this is the line that I needed down here. As well as a couple of things. We're going to do public color, map color, equal to color.white. Okay. I think we're going to be good. I hope we're going to be good. Oh, except I'm going to have to actually change how the parsing works. Oh, it's so close, but it's going to take a little bit more. Okay. That means we're going to have a public string map ASCII art. What's a new string 0? Okay. And just for consistency's sake, I'm going to move you up here. And that means we're going to have to make a custom inspector. And it just keeps getting longer and longer. And it's like, I I just want to see it. Okay. So map section settings, map section. I think we're almost good. I need to go to the map section settings actually. And we're going to say public map section settings. And this is where it gets kind of nasty. Oh, really? We got to do the base. Peek this real quick. Oh, now I can never do that one, so kind of gonna just copy this real quick. Do that, and then we will do base show name spaces before scroll duration. Okay, we don't have to do this here. And then in addition to that, we are going to want to do color, map color, and then finally we will lead up with, or end with params string ASCII art. So we make it a string, I guess param string, it doesn't really matter, it's always going to be a string array, but that way we can pass in individual values if we want. Not really probably a situation that's likely, but still. Okay, and trying to think if there's anything else I really want to do. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I'm not going to worry about convenience yet. So we're going to say this dot map color is equal to map color, and this dot map ASCII art is equal to ASCII art. All right. Simple as that. Let's go ahead and come back here. And I think that's pretty much it for that. Means we're going to come back here, and we're going to have to do override from JSON. Okay. I do the base from JSON, and we just peek at it. Good. Yep. Oy. Peek this. Peek this. Const string info map is equal to map. All right. JSON object map JSON is equal to JSON.get object interactive object utility dot info map. Okay, so that gives us our JSON blob specifically referring to our map, which is actually going to be an array. So I'm going to say get, well, no, it is going to be an object, I believe. Let's find out. Let's come back over here and visualize this. I don't remember if it's an array inside of an object. I think that's the case. No. Ooh, right. It gets treated. Ooh, right. It's an array. That's fine. That's fine. That's still fine. So this is going to be get array. Oh, right. This needs to be a JSON array. That's fine. And then for int I equals 0, I is less than map JSON dot length I plus plus. I'm going to loop through and assign all of our stuff. So we're going to say map ASCII art is equal to new string map JSON dot length map ASCII art dot initialize. Then we are going to say map ASCII art of I is equal to map JSON of I. Oh, I guess I can do that. Dot get string value. Yep, get string value at index I. Okay. So that should assign our art array so that we can pass it in. And I don't think we need anything else. So All right. Let's see what happens. Really hopeful. Pow. Compile. And we're going to have like a massive inspector all of a sudden. Oh, wait. Okay. So for the time being, I'm not going to make a custom inspector. I'm just going to debug it. But let's go ahead and pull up Woods map. Let's see what happens when I hit update. Because clearly it's always going to work. Oh my god, it worked. Okay. Okay. We might be good. We might be good. Debug. It's going to be down here. Map ASCII art. Okay, that's good. Let's get our map color to be like that sort of pale, faded yellow, orangish color I was talking about. Something like that. And our map section prefab is going to be, of course, it's not going to show up. I don't know why it never shows up. Something that always bugs me. Okay, I think that's all we needed. So, if I come back from there, let's go ahead and save. Let's see what happens. Oh wait, I'm not done yet. I almost forgot. I actually needed to code what would happen here. Read and examine. Map section settings. Settings is equal to new. No, it's just going to be like this, I guess. Oh, and section settings is fine for now. Let's see here. And if it's read or examine, settings.indirect object, we don't care about any of that. If that is the case, then we're going to say settings is equal to new section settings. Oh, not new section settings, actually. New map section settings. Show name. 0 spaces before. Scroll duration. Let's do like 0.2f. Map color. Map color. And map ASCII art. And then down here, we're going to pass settings. And output should probably. Let me peek this actually. Yeah, it's just going to be verb.output, so that should be fine. Okay, that should do what we want. I'm hopeful. Okay. I think we've done everything we need to. I think we're ready. Really hope we are. Now we find out. I almost forgot to turn this into the interactive layer. Okay. Let's try it. Please work. Please work, please work, please work. No! Oh, wait. Nope, nope, nope. I did forget. I did forget. Hold on. Hold on. I actually might have to come down here and put it in here for now. That's fine, I think. Map section.woods. I hope this works. I might not actually need a map section thing then. Okay. Yeah, false alarm. That might just be something else. No! Oh no, it's because. Oh, dang it. Ah, so close. Ah, dang it. Something happened. It's. Oh, it's the escaped characters. Ah, my JSON parser is doing that. No, so close. Ah, that sucks. Yep, escape characters. My JSON parser is not playing ball. So technically it works. I just gotta fix my JSON parser. Oh, that is disappointing though. So close. Um, I let me pop the JSON parser open real quick. This might be a quick fix. It might not be though. It looks like we got some return characters in there. Oh, wrong thing. Yeah, we got some return characters in there, and that's never a good sign. I will take a screenshot of that though because it's hilarious. Um, anyway, let's come back over here. Yeah, this is just gonna be nasty. Yeah. See, and it should be trimming out those characters, but might I might just not want to play ball. So that's disappointing. But yeah, I'll have to look into that to fix that because that's something that I don't think I could fix on the stream in like 2 minutes. Jeez. Well, thanks for sticking around, KitKat. I'm so sad that we couldn't get it to work, but I mean, technically it did. To be fair, it technically is working, but my JSON parser screwed it all up. So close. Um, all right. Well, that's probably a good enough place to end it for today. I might cheat real quick and just so I can get a screenshot. Fudge this a little bit, see what it'll look like. Here's our map label. This is just gonna be like a abomination of terribleness, I think. Yeah, it like messed up spacing too, I think. That's disappointing. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not gonna do that then, because that's way too much effort. Um, yeah, it's some of the new line characters didn't get read in as new line characters. Ah. All right. Well, that's a good enough place to stop, I think. So, I mean, we got through everything we needed to, and I mean, we do technically have it working, in the sense that it does accept ASCII art, it does appropriately assign them. Um, well, actually, no, yeah, no, it definitely does appropriately assign them because if it didn't, if it was just using what it was saved out as when we made the prefab, it would be correct. So, yeah, kind of sucks that the JSON parser, made everything screw up. But what are you gonna do? I'll take a look at that and see if I can fix that by Thursday's stream. But yeah, that was a pretty productive time. I actually like having the map sort of ASCII art image there. I think that could be cool for things like, um, oh god, no, I don't need to do stuff like I don't need to add more mechanics to myself. I don't need to like have books be able to have sketches in them. No, 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 no. So yeah. All right, I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the night. Do I have any other announcements to make? Nope, should be good. So we should be back again on Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And hopefully by then I'll have the JSON parser fixed, so we can actually look at our map and smile, hopefully. Smile because it's weird, not smile because it's silly looking. Anyway, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.